Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. We are back for more Roottrees. I love this game. The fact there's a whole second mystery to it is great. Which is Roottreemania. Find out what happens to the infamous family. A whole new mystery. Spoil all my content. Make sure you tap a loose end. I have. You can see those previous videos on YouTube. Use slot 2 for this.
Hi, I'm Clark. Probably not who you expected to be knocking.
It's Clark Rafferty.
You've done well staying anonymous. It took us a while to track you down.
Uh-oh.
A lot has happened in the last year. Far too much of it public. But there's stuff going on behind the scenes, too. I never wanted to be president. I'm not great with stress. My mother's deteriorating. I'm sorry. I'm rambling. I'm not here for sympathy. I'm here because part of the fallout of Sam's book...
Yeah, this is...
Everyone's coming out of the woodwork.
Lauren's kid, Lauren the author.
Now that it's public knowledge, the Clancy Trust covers any root tree despite their history with us. A lot of potential cousins have surfaced. You may have seen that man on the cover of News Time. It's a disaster for us. And then Miracle went and made it all about himself. The long and short of it is a lot of potential cousins just showed up. Sam's helping some of them, but she's not really going about it the right way. And she's not taking calls from anyone in the family. I let it slip through a mutual friend that I found you, and I was stopping in. It's manipulative, but I'm hoping she'll reach out to you. You can let her know I'm on her side. In the meantime, if you're willing, I can share our files with you. Pass them along to Sam if she reaches out. I'm genuinely hoping she'll realize I'm an ally. Feel free to do your own research. I've been told you enjoy things like this. To each their own.
I do enjoy things like this. I'm not gonna lie. Today is August 3rd, 1999. It has been 8 months since you helped Sam Madsen with the research necessary for her book. Sam was true to her word and paid you an incredibly large sum of money. I wish. She never mentioned you by name, however, so you've managed to keep a low profile. The Roottrees, on the other hand, have not. Below is a summary of notable events since the book's release that you can refresh your memory in full detail by searching online. 6 pieces. Sam Madsen's book about Elias Roottree was released in February. It was a bestseller for a few months. At the time, Carl had not yet been replaced. Oh, we still have no president. The Roottree Rift. In March, the Roottree Company stumbled publicly as they attempted to respond to the book's release with multiple conflicting press releases and a clear lack of leadership. Clark Rafferty LaRue. Clark was announced as a permanent successor to Carl Roottree and welcomed Sam Madsen to the family officially. The company hired an outside legal group to handle the changes to the Clancy Trust. This includes any other new questions of lineages. 5 Ps. After this announcement, there's a rash of different people claiming to be Roottrees, mostly dismissed as opportunists and scammers. The highest profile of these, by a large margin, was a rapper named Felix Fellows, who changed his moniker to 5 Ps as a publicity move at the same time. 5 Ps is the only notable person on the updated tree. Roottreemania. Hey, they said it. In another high-profile missteps, Miracle Roottree publicly and vehemently denied that 5 Ps was a Roottree. The Roottree's legal team then offered to do a DNA test to get 5 Ps to drop his claim, and, in a moment that caught what seemed like the entire world by storm, the test proved he was a Roottree. Suddenly, the world was obsessed with the Roottrees. Oh, Miracle. Is that Miracle Jr., or Miracle the Third? Anonymom and Jane Doe Roottree. In July, an anonymous woman, who the press began referring to as Anonymom, appeared in interviews with her face and voice disguised. She claimed that an affair with the Roottree led to the birth of her daughter, aka Jane Doe Roottree. If true, this would make her daughter yet another secret Roottree and therefore entitled to a share of the Clancy Trust. Nobody knew it at the time, but this would turn out to be the last chapter in the Roottreemania saga. As more and more more and more of a non-mom story came out, people began to notice how much it echoes 5Ps in nearly every significant way. The court of public opinion began to turn. Confirming the world's suspicion, the DNA test, orchestrated by lawyers on both sides, proved that her daughter was not a Rootree. The final event caused public disappointment, smugness from doubters, and countless accusations of the entire ordeal being an elaborate hoax or an attempt at fraud. Things got a bit ugly, and the fun of Roottreemania seemed to disappear overnight. Now, a month later, it seems like a distant memory. Okay, what do we got? We got 6 pieces, the Rootree Rift, and then Roottreemania. Okay. Previously, on the Roottrees Are Dead. And in this is a new investigation with a new focus. After many months of newfound interest in the Roottrees, it is recommended you try to catch up with some of what happened since last time. Some web searches may yield new or different results. Oh, don't do that to me. And some books and magazines from your previous investigation may be relevant to your new one. It is also a much more widespread search. The list of first and last names you can choose from will contain red herrings. Not all of them will be used. Below, as a reminder of some of the most notable beats of your initial dive into the Roottrie family tree. All evidence from before is still available, and for your convenience, any searches that you do not lead to information still function as they did during your first investigation. The Roottrie Candy Company was founded by Elias and Gwyneth many years ago. The entire family has a financial reliance on the health of that company. Most of the action took place in and around Butler County, Pennsylvania, where the company was initially located. Elias, Carl, and Raina were on the cover of magazines. I don't want to go searching for those. Other notable Roottrees such as Lauren Roottrie, Miracle Roottrie, and Jim Roottrie had physical media such as record albums, books, movies associated with them. Lauren's 2 diaries are probably the most useful resources overall, mentioning many of her relatives directly. The 5 pieces, Elias' children, could be identified based on the initials of the original candy flavors. There were 5 presidents of the Roottrie Company. Many were featured in periodicals. Carolyn Morden, Stephanie Jones, and Brian Jones were featured in campaign posters and led to Carolyn's art book, which enabled you to fill out more of the tree. Many of the younger Rootrees are found by following a complex rabbit hole through a conspiracy site that led to a researchable web address for Chris Rafferty, Lauren's grandson, Clark's kid. November Roottrie was really difficult to place. Her occupation can only be found via Brian Jones' company website. Yes, November I thought was just a time, but it actually is a person. Ronald and his brother Robert go by Ron and Robbie. Both worked on a TV show called Brother Trouble until Robbie embezzled money and fled to Paris. Ron unsuccessfully tried to have Robbie removed from the Clanset Trust. Sam and her father were cryptically mentioned in a book about historical letters. Also a few dead ends and red herrings. Aloysius Herring, Herring Roottrie, who claimed he was a Roottrie but was not. Family Man, a book about Elias Roottrie, turned out to be propaganda and not very useful. Lauren's other book, historical romance novels, were not useful on their own, but could lead to other information. Carolyn Morton's sculptures were not useful. Today, August 3rd, 1999, there was a knock on your door. Clark Rafferty LaRue, the current president of the Roottrie Candy Company, explained that multiple people have come out of the woodwork and claimed to be Roottries. He's been trying to work with Sam, but she has not answered his call. He also handed you a letter that he said you could share with Sam and said the following. To both of you, the company I hired to help us with Clanset Trust is busy pouring through the entire family's history, as well as the people that may have had contact with. That said, the family is not particularly happy with this and are doing their best to slow things down. Many of them are actively avoiding our interviews. Every time there's a high-profile public case, it causes headaches, so please, I don't mind if you do your research, but I ask you stop going to the press. Instead, we have a highly trained team of lawyers to back you up. We're ready and willing to verify anyone and everyone you believe could be realistically part of a relationship that led to the birth of a new Roottrie. Just tell us who to investigate by filling in the new sections of the tree, and we'll take the time to handle verifying that the timeline checks out. But keep in mind why we're here. If someone didn't have a child, or has already been disqualified by our lawyers, like in the case of the girl with a negative DNA test, there won't be a place for them on the tree. We're not just looking for affairs and infidelities. We're only looking for ones that led to potential new Roottries. Some spots in the new section will be marked with a tree icon. These areas are reserved for members of the original family tree you filled in 8 months ago. Just like last time, be sure to use birth names for everyone you add. Married names or nicknames won't be enough. To start sorting out the infidelities, our committee turned our eyes to the men in positions of power. I'd love to say that's only because it would have been a lot harder for the women to hide 9 months of pregnancy and birth without the family noticing, but I don't. But I can't. I'll be blunt. I'm no stranger to infidelity. I wish I could claim that I was a perfect husband, but you've seen my family tree, so why pretend? Some of us have learned to wield our family name and fortune to our benefit. Consequences be damned. I can't change the past or unhurt those who I've betrayed. Instead, all I can do is be honest with myself and you, refuse to make any more mistakes, and do my best to sort out the various messes we've left behind. So please, fill in the tree, and together we can figure out how to begin to make amends. Good luck, and thank you both. Yeah, Clark was the one who cheated. Was with Diamond's sister, and then cheated with their younger sister. Okay, so here's all the new stuff. Ooh, top secret. Update anything. Okay, so this is a new one. Possible infidelity 3. Okay. Yeah, we gotta find out how 5Ps came to be. That's gonna be our big thing. Also, this is 5Ps. Whatever 5Ps' actual name is. He's a musician. We know that much. These are only notable. Infidelity, and they split up. Okay. First, we have something more important to do. You said all of the evidence. So there's only one thing we can do, folks. Everything's better when we listen to the Rolling Down to the City song. Alright, 5Ps, aka Felix Fellows. It's a rapper who has found some recent radio play after being publicly confirmed as a long-lost Roottreemania and entitled to part of their fortune. His alias, 5Ps, is a play on 5 pieces. An article you find on our website, known for their particularly harsh reviews of modern music, gives his most recent album, Root of All Evil, 1 star out of 7, for whatever reason, with a headline, More Poser Than My Action Figure Collection. Root of All Evil, I get it. The recent mentions his real name is David. And he goes by Dirty Davy, and the author rues the fact that this rebanding was a blatant marketing stunt at the expense of his mother's tragic past. She overdosed when he was 16. Apparently, one of the songs on the album is new, and the others were simply rewritten to turn blatant references to sex, drugs, and violence into clumsy euphemisms. His rise in prominence was kick-started when he appeared a few months ago on the cover of Newstime holding a photo of his mother with Guy Hudson. At first, the Roottreemania company denied it via me. Miracle Roottreemania even appeared on the same magazine a week later. But since then, they've backtracked and publicly welcomed to the family. Their press release, okay. So Guy Hudson was the one. Oh, jeez. Guy, what did you do? Portrait available, okay. Guy was over here, I want to say. We're down to the city. Guy Hudson, president of the third. Dillweed. Okay. Let's search Felix Fellows and see what that finds. Rapper who has found some recent. Okay. Root of All Evil. Five Piece's debut album. According to various sources, the album is mostly material that Five Piece recorded from his mixtapes before he became notable, but re-recorded with lyrical differences and professional production. All Your Problems was the first and only single released. After dropping the single, Five Piece announced that he retained the infamous celebrity lawyer Steve Whitlock to sue his family. Today, it doesn't seem like he's followed through. They make much of but Whitlock, known for his publicity, paid thousands of teenagers a few dollars an hour to call and request the video on MTV, which increased its profile. MTV eventually caught on and banned the video altogether, which in turn received national news coverage and made the song even more popular. Let's search for All Your Problems. Hey, oh no, we got the song. Shaq is the only new song on the album. That's the subject matter. Is the song is the hypocrisy of those who claim money is evil. He points out that the only people who think money is evil are those that have it, those that can't afford not to be greedy. In this song, Five Piece triumphantly talks about taking the Roottree's wealth due to it being his birthright and giving it to those who need it most. Find a copy of the song on a suspicious-looking website and download it for your records. All right, folks. Is this going to replace Rolling Down to the City? I sincerely doubt it, but let's go. Making fun of. Okay. Stevie Whitlock is a lawyer with a history of publicity stunts and grandstanding. Still, she's managed to rack up quite a few legal victories for C-list celebrities and athletes. He's actually suing a multinational subway company for 12 inches subs, like the average of. Aww. Okay. Dirty TV. Okay. David, last name is Fellows. He appeared on the cover of News Time, though, so. Okay. News Times, major news, empirical. Okay, we need to. Oh, hey. That's nice. I didn't even realize that. News Times, a major news periodical that releases a new issue every week. The rapper Five Piece famously appeared on the cover, claiming to be the Roottreee. Then 1 week later, Miracle Roottreee did the same, denying that he was, because of his high-profile back-to-back discourse right before the start of Roottreemania. They appeared to be the de facto publication to get news about the ongoing Roottreee saga. They reported record subscriber numbers during this time, which lasted until the end of Roottreemania, when the world generally stopped paying much attention and they went back to reporting in untraditional news. Okay, so now we can do this. 5Ps, search periodicals, and news time. Search. Felix Fellows, aka 5Ps, famously appeared on the cover of News Time, kicking off Roottreemania. Then a week later, Miracle Roottree appeared on the cover. An article that focused heavily on 5Ps as well. The summary of both articles, as well as a club photo of 5Ps is holding on the cover, have been issued to evidence. Okay. Let's grab that real quick. I can't grab any other people in the back. The rapper, 5Ps, appeared on the cover of News Time holding a Polaroid of his mother, Joanna, when she was Zach Morton's secretary at a company picnic. She claims that Joanna and Guy, also in the photo, were having an affair that led to his birth. So, Joanna. Oh, wait, no, that'd be the spouse. Never mind. So, this is Joanna Fellows. This is the picture of Joanna Fellows. This is the picture of you. This is the picture of Guy Hudson. Your occupation is secretary. Doop. 5Ps, aka Felix Fellows, appeared on the cover of News Times holding a photo of his mother and Guy Hudson. Oh, my camera's frozen. Let's do this and then do this. Hi, everybody. Article concerns his insistence that his father was Guy Hudson. The story was dramatic and sensational and initially dismissed as fake until a DNA proved that he was related to Guy Hudson. 5P says that his mother, Joanna, was Zach Morton's secretary when he retired, and that Guy Hudson's secretary for only 1 or 2 weeks after that she quit. For a few weeks that he was president. His parents divorced when he was 4 after his father learned of the affair. Felix and his mother then moved to Portland because she was afraid for her and her son's life. He grew up with her until he was 16, but one day his mother never came home from the movie rental store where she worked the register. Next morning, they found her dead on an overdose in her car. She had stolen all of the cash from her drawer and spent it on heroin. As Felix went through belongings, the only thing he had to remember her by were a hairbrush he used, some photos, and a stuffed animal from her childhood. But then he found it, a box hidden in the back of her closet. Inside were love letters and photos related to Guy Hudson, as well as a letter from his father containing threats. He threw it all away with the exception of the one photo he appears with on the cover of News Time. He says it was the only one where they were dressed. Oh, the only one not from the affair itself. Picture is shown in full inside the magazine and was added to your evidence. The magazine also contains some additional history about 5P's career. He was born Felix Fellows to Riley and Joanna Fellows. Let me grab Riley real quick. Riley Fellows. But has never rapped without a moniker. He tried to find success by opening for other artists and even by selling CDs on street corners of Portland. His only reason he started going as 5Ps to harness the power of his lineage. Writer did some research into the truth of these claims and was able to confirm that Joanna did work for the Roottree Company, secretary sometime during the early to mid-70s. And also confirms that she died of drug overdose, that Felix went into foster care soon after. They were unable to track down his father. They also reached out to the Roottree Company, but at the moment, the company's blanket statement is since the release of the recent book, Roottree has had an overwhelming number of false ancestral claims. None have been factual, and nearly all have been unknowingly dishonest. We encourage individuals to reach out to us in an official capacity as opposed to attempting to use our name in the media for public. Miracle, you blind jackass. Miracle Roottree appeared on the cover of News Tree. He vehemently denied the 5Ps was a Roottree. The article was before. Sorry about that, folks. It's been a rough day. The article was from before the DNA test that proved it. Miracle doesn't focus on the details of 5P's accusation regarding his mother and Hudson. Instead, he comes across as exhausted at the events that have been going on behind the scenes, as well as the character of those he feels that are attacking his family. He starts with 6P's content. He says that although most of the book was based in fact, it left out anything that wouldn't fit the agenda. He points out Sam's daughter still earns a generous salary for overseeing the farm division of Roottreemania, and that Sam did the same before her. That Sam's family was not destitute, and that really it was only her son who chose to take on a job with no salary. He claims that though they didn't have to, the family helped pay for her son's medical bills after voting that it was the right thing to do. That's a fucking lie. We know it's in fact Carl who just did it because they loved him. Miracle also says the story about his father, Elias, shunning EC was one-sided, leaving out Edward Clancy's blame in the whole thing. Elias gave him a simple ultimatum: stop sinning or be disowned. Stop being gay, folks. That's all you gotta do. Fuck you, Elias. Miracle says it was EC's own choice, and that Elias allowed him to earn food and shelter on the company's dime was a kindness, especially considering that he and John continue to live together. Fuck you, Miracle. Miracle then pivots to the fallout from 6 Pieces. He recounts the deluge of claims the clans at trust the family may have been subjected to. He doesn't cite any specifics, but says that every time someone comes forward, the family devolves to arguments. They had to hire an outside legal team to help, but so far every case has been demonstrably, laughably false. All they do is tarnish the family's reputation. He focuses on 5Ps who appeared on News Time before him. He calls him a grifter and delinquent, and says he's using their name and product to sell filth to the masses. For all the accusations, he says that it's almost dangerous because it exposes the world to hatred. So what the fuck? What the fuck, Miracle? He cites 5P's lyrics of violent, sexist, ungodly, and prays the boy will repent, retract his lies, and find religion. Lastly, he turns to the future. Miracle states that those who wish to hear the true story can join him on his farewell tour this upcoming fall. The Miracles Roottreemania are planning on touring the country's church one last time, and now at the age of 71, Miracle will be the oldest living Roottreemania. While he plans to continue preaching at his own church in Butler County after the tour, this is your last chance to hear the truth from the man who, with the most complete recollection of one of America's most notable families in your own hometown. The unconventional Miracle's son, Miracle Jr., did not wish to comment, and has a statement from Clark Rafferty LaRue, though through the Rucci's law firm. Miracle does not speak for his entire family. We're working carefully on a plan to definitively disprove any claims of infidelity in our family's past. Miracle also does not refute Miracle's claim that he is the oldest living Roottreemania, despite Sam Madsen being born the year before him. It was unclear if Miracle made the claim out of ignorance or spite. Okay. I didn't grab Rucci's. Did I grab? I grabbed Rucci's picture. Miracle. Alright. That means, Miracle, you're on here somewhere, which I find fucking hilarious. You cheating bastard. Or did your wife cheat on you? That'd be great. Oh my god, there are so many... Guy, you gotta keep it in your pants, buddy. Okay. Alright, it's already been added. Okay. Let's try searching Anonymom. I like that we can do this now. Evidence lists. Was a second high-profile case after Felix Fellows of a potential new Roottreemania being added to the Clancy Trust. Instead of claiming herself as Roottreemania, however, she claimed she slept with Guy Hudson, which is fair. Actually, let's search if I search Roottreemania. Immediately following announcement that the rapper going to popular. I'm a secret Roottreemania episodes. I'm just trying to... Well, yeah, we can search 6 pieces. Let's do that. Okay. Oh, no, fuck. That's not what I wanted to do. 6 pieces unwrapping America's... Oh. Deactivate. Activate. Unwrapping America's Sweetest Family by Sam Matson was released in early 1999 and perhaps assisted in the still relatively recent plane crash shot to the top. Assisted by. Just checking to make sure. Well, was an ending. Reviews are mixed, and its time in the bestsellers was limited to only 2 months. Most viewers agreed that the core of the book about Samantha's fathers and the struggles that were faced was compelling, and the takedown of the hypocrisy of Elias Roottreee was deserved. However, many took umbrage with the timing of the release and the tone of the book, which seemed vindictive, which is fair. Follow from the book led to the Roottreee Company scrambling to release a statement due to its conflict of leadership. Famously released multiple conflicting official statements over these days. This confusing move was the reference by popular culture due to a late-night sketch about indecisionitis, but most traditionally analysts have been calling it the Roottreee Rift. A few months later, due to Roottreemania, the book re-entered the charts and sold even better than the last time. Anything new about this? The press release's first was fairly standard. It stated that there was no president of the Roottreee Company, but that the entire family was made aware of the release of the book. They'd be meeting as soon as possible. Only then could they verify the legitimacy of the claims it was raised. Set next steps. Secondly, this was emailed to business newspapers 3 hours later and announced that after a vote, Ron Roottreee would be taking over. Ron? Fucking hell. To say that Ron was aware of the book, had verified the claims within, and would look into compensating Mrs. Matson and her family immediately. It also stated that the company lawyers would be taking immediate steps with the family to revisit the Clancy Trust terms to make sure nothing else can happen again. It was quickly clear to business reporters and analysts that the time between the 2 press releases would not have been logistically sufficient to gather a majority of the family. Even using conference calls, this was reported on many news channels, and a third, much shorter press release came the next day, claiming that a draft of the announcement was made prematurely and that Clark Rafferty and Ron Roottreee would be taking over as the company's first joint presidents. It also stated that any compensation plan would be based on stringent verification process. What is happening here, buddy? Now, as presidents during the Roottreee Rift, the next press release dropped from China entirely. Ron and Business Watch. Nice. Oh, Gwen died. Oh, it's good that they made amends. Alright, so let's do this. Ron Roottreee. Search periodicals. Business Watch. What really happened with Roottreee is the article mentions that nobody from Roottreee that they reached out to was willing to go on record. Instead, the timeline of events has been constructed from public records, accidental leaks, and the source on the inside. The only parts that are new to you are the most vague parts and the one supposedly confirmation by their anonymous source. Timeline says the family actually held a preliminary vote after Carl Ruth died, but before the release of pieces, decided they wanted Ron Roottreee to take over because of experience running RR Productions and because he was a well-known and well-respected Roottreee. But Ron seemed way too eager and personally motivated. They were worried he would gut the Clancy Trust to remove Robbie Roottreee. Family was notoriously unwilling to do anything that would risk their wealth. They stalled, and Ron became frustrated with the delay. When 6 Pieces came out, he saw the chance to force action with the family, was in the limelight, and released the press release himself in an attempt to, oh my god, Ron, why? This caused chaos within the family. They tried to save face by allowing Ron to take over as co-president with Clark, but according to Business Watch sources, Ron was impossible to deal with. He seemed like he was unwilling to protect the Clancy trust, and they eventually let him go. After that, the role passed solely to Clark, who nobody was excited about, but seemed the safest choice. Poor Clark, buddy. Just find anything new, buddy? Yep. Advertising career. Okay. What is happening with Root now? The Root website has a small memorial section to deceased members of the family, but it contains no new information. The most recent catalog, spring 1999, had an entirely black color with no text on it. On the leadership page, you learn that Root is currently being managed by a designer who's apparently Brenda White's second in command. You don't recognize her name, and she seems unrelated to your search. There's also a scholarship page on it. You find information on the Roottreemania Sisters Fashion Scholarship. It's awarded to 3 underprivileged high school girls each year who wish to pursue a career in fashion. Apparently, it also gives them an opportunity to show off their designs on professional models on a real runway. According to the site, the fund was created directly from shares that would have contributed to the inheritance of the Roottreemania Sisters if they were still alive. Like other aspects of the Clansett Trust, it's managed by Ruby Legal Enterprises. Ta-da! Let's take a look. Ruby Legal Enterprises is the name of the law firm that has been hired by the Roottreemania Candy Company. The company is named after its head lawyer, Ruby Spratt. You'll be searched for in a second, Ruby. Can't remember much about the company from before this year, though all the articles tell the same tale. After the fiasco of 6 Pieces and the revelation Roottreemania's internal law group was complicit in such a cover-up, they hired outside counsel. The Ruby Legal Enterprise Group now seems to have ties to multiple aspects of the Roottreemania Corporation, including the Candy Company and Root. They were recently in the news due to a highly profile lawsuit they raised against Cicely Sanchez. Okay, so let's do Cicely first. Author best known for Portrait of a Changed Man, released in 1979. Her follow-up, Foreign Gospel, 1984, did not perform as well critically. She's written a few more books since then, including a biography of Van Gogh. Her first 2 are acclaimed to fame. Separate authors, Cicely is known for her nonfiction with a focus on exploring darkness of the human psyche. Appeared in a magazine called Picote, an article about a book she had been commissioned to write for Guy Hudson. The magazine and Cicely herself were immediately issued a cease and desist due to its inclusion of pictures that she never had the rights to publish. This issue was pulled from store shelves, making it instant collector's items. Oh, we are searching for Picote. Alright, so let's do Cicely Sanchez, search periodicals. Picote. There we go. Thank you for netting that. I wonder why you didn't net it beforehand. Issue that focused on a talking toy fish and the demonic messages it supposedly said as the batteries ran low. Picote had an article about a canceled book by Cicely Sanchez. The book's subject was Guy Hudson, and the issue was said to contain pictures that Cicely did not have the rights to publish. Because of the pictures, this issue was pulled from store shelves, making it the subject of some conspiracies. And an instant collector's item due to this recall, the version found in the archives is incomplete. What do we got? My God. I love this. This is my new background. The utensil that would help you lose some... What? I don't need that. I need... Lose 50 pounds. This was the issue of Picote magazine that contained an article by Cicely Sanchez. The story concerned... Seems that they used photos of Guy that Cicely did not own the rights to publish. Unfortunately, the magazine was issued cease and desist. The magazine was pulled from the shelves, and the version you found in your periodical search had the relevant pages removed, rendering this magazine useless unless you want to read about a potentially demonic fish toy. I do want to read about it. Okay. Let's search Ruby Sprat now. The recount is relatively elusive. The most complete source of information you could find from before time with the Roottrees is from the website for a magazine owned by a major airline. She was the subject of one article from a recurring series about modern-day success stories. Ruby grew up in foster care, but excelled at school and earned a scholarship at the study of Mid-Eastern University. There, she graduated top of her legal class and was quickly hired as a lawyer for a prominent firm. There are a few high-profile corporate-involved cases that she was part of. One was as a legal consultant for a class action lawsuit against a manufacturer of steering wheel covers. Another was a help for a local gas station chain in her hometown of Portland. Because 5Ps grew up in Portland. The rollout of a promotion that allowed gas station customers the ability to bet on the price of gas. Blurb ends by calling her new firm Double Threat. Her company's services are a cross between a traditional lawyer and a PR manager. Is this going to find me anything? Midway between Maine and Miami. The mascot is the Spectres, which is not the one that Chris Rafferty went to. Though they're not known for their sports programs as much as their education, their legal and language departments pride and joy, though they also have fairly extensive computer science and robotics programs. Charlie Ivy School, some of which is Little Ivy. Here we go. The Herald. Supposedly they have a historical technology museum on campus, including a self-functioning computer from the 1960s that takes up a full room. They also have the printing press they use to print one special year-end edition of the Herald each year. Yes. Let us search for the Herald. Thank you for the periodical. Alright, periodical. Herald. Top of her class from Midwestern's Legal College, her valedictorian speech was somewhat controversial at that time, as it was quite serious, with a heavy focus on wealth inequality. This didn't go over well with predominantly middle to upper class audience in attendance. Are you a secret Rootree, Ruby? Editor of the Herald at the time said Ruby, unsatisfied by simply earning her place at Mid-Eastern with a full scholarship, went on to earn a captive audience that appears the perfect GPA. It felt like the ideal occasion for celebration of an undoubtedly incredible individual. However, by the end of her speech, there were many in the audience that wished that neither of those events had transpired. It was a passionate attempt to use her soapbox to proselytize her fellow students and their parents into the religion of poverty. But unfortunately, judging by the silence, they remain unconverted. That is a fantastic line. I really do love that. That's not going to help us, though. We need four key relatives. This is probably Chris. No, it can't be. This is probably Chris Rafferty. No, because we have Christopher's full family there. So one of these is Miracle. It has to be. So we got the new picture of Miracle. So let's try this, because we have three. No? Then let's try this. No? Damn. Let's try this one. Damn. Okay. That's probably either a red herring or I've got something about these three wrong. It's a musician. What do you got for me, Duck? That's a fair point. I didn't do that. Alright, history is 6 pieces. Control copy. Public library. Book title. Sam Morton. What did I get wrong? Sam Madsen. Wrong. It was released earlier this year and details the truth about Elias Roottreemania as well as Sam's father, Edward Clancy Roottreemania, and John Miller. You have to revise so much of the book's content is familiar to you. That said, Sam had some other sections of family secrets. Sam's book has a few different passages about her own history and the company and rumors and gossips that she collected during her tenure. She ran the farm for a period starting around 1968 after the death of Elias Roottreemania until her daughter Gwyneth took over in 1984. Most of the relevant rumors coincided with the reign of Guy Hudson, who took over as a president in 1978. Sam was very much not a fan of Guy, and according to 6 Pieces, it was an open secret in the family that Guy was very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife, Patricia. Many of their hires at the time were young single women, and Guy often spent a lavish amount of time on private parties. This was 20 years ago, and Sam warns that most of it is hearsay till you find the following information that may be relevant. One of Sam's farm supervisors, named Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but who worked as one of Guy's secretaries. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from the local restaurant called Antonelli's met her daughter at one of Guy's partners, and they quickly eloped due to a pregnancy. Elizabeth wasn't aware that the party was for swingers. Rumor has it that her daughter showed up with Guy and didn't seem comfortable switching partners. Guy's main positive contribution to the company involved expanding the markets previously untapped by Roottreemania. However, when he went on trips overseas, they were often for weeks at a time, and Guy was known for spending more time and money on unofficial business than meeting with distributors and manufacturers. It was said that he bribed at least one politician to open a factory in Brazil. There's also a section where Sam speculates that Elias may have cheated on Gwyneth. Gwyneth was always much kinder to Sam than Elias was, and was the first to invite Sam to family events. While she had no hard evidence, Sam always got the impression that Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias into allowing Sam back into the family using some kind of leverage, instead of it being a natural course of events. She meant that Elias and Gwyneth were known to loudly argue sometimes about another woman. Sam also said that her son Ernie once asked her, "Who's Beth?" because he overheard them yelling about someone with that name. As far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth than Supervisor Farm, but she never met. Elias, you son of a bitch, you're the first affair. Okay. We got a bunch of stuff here. We got Brazil to search for. That can help us. But President the First, motherfucker. Taking a picture of you. Nothing. Brazil Guy Hudson. Well, we haven't searched for Guy Hudson, by the way. Let's do that. That existed using the company, so it needs to come forward. Okay. Only president for a few years, late 70s. Fancy flavors debacle. Come forward, debauchery and swinger parties. Guy liked to throw large holiday parties whenever he got an excuse, and they often got very out of hand. fact led some people to speculate that the night he died in a car crash, he was drunk or impaired in some way, but the Butler County Police have released multiple statements and Apple evidence that proves decisively there was not foul play and that no party has taken place. His lawyers have been quick to threaten litigation for anyone who tried to disparage God in the public. I want to say this is a miracle. Elias Roottree. Since 6 Pieces of the Candy Company has placed much less of an emphasis on Elias as a local brand connected figure. There's been those who have argued that it was his right to decide how to split his inheritance. He did television changes and countless op-eds. First, Anderson Maple Farm only used to be a popular tourist attraction during the summer months when it had special tours. However, it has since seen an explosion of off-season business as some religious and political groups had to visit to show support for Alaska and its traditional values and financial rights. Yeah. This rise in support was in turn followed by pickets from gay rights activists and some particularly inflammatory organizations made up their pilgrimages. Among these, conflict the farm has been snitched down, seemingly indefinitely. Check left dated and late. Bass Williams book. Right, Family Man. That was a. What am I looking for, Duck? She absolutely does seem like something. Let's do that. Nope, that's what I want to do. There we go. After the release of 6 Pieces, Carolyn Morton did a television interview. Someone has uploaded a partial transcript of the interview to the television that transcribes only her answers and is missing the questions. This creates a somewhat confusing reading experience, but does give you a bit more history about Carolyn and some of the family members. Thanks for having me. I'm never really fit into the family, so it didn't surprise me. Because Carolyn is gay. Carolyn has a partner, Eloise. She could have put me in if she wanted to talk about the time during my activism days when I almost got arrested for stealing the spark plugs out of all of her tractors, but I don't really think it fit her narrative. Yes and no. They never tried to kick me out or send me to live on a farm, if that's what you mean. It was already pretty unpopular, and once everyone learned why I divorced my husband, few people paid me any attention. She's my wife. Not legally, but we've been together for half of our lives. Call it what it is. I was 20 and I just had my daughter. I hate to look back on that time because I was a terrible mother for the first few years. I left my daughter with my ex-husband and followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. He lost a tooth and a client. I found love and a better understanding of who I was. Still, in our family's eyes, this trip was somehow more acceptable. Explain that. No, I couldn't stand him. Our family wrote off his behavior like he was some huge fan of romance or women, but he didn't like the entire woman. He didn't like the entire woman. Gotcha. It was doubly awkward for me because he was more supportive than most. I slowly figured out it's because he assumed I would be as shallow as he was. He was a workaholic. He seemed nice enough and did a good job. I didn't know him well. That was one of Sam's problems with our family. None of us did except Carl. Honestly, I get why she's pissed. That's probably talking about EC. Rather not speak ill of the dead, not unless you want more stories about Guy. With Carl, though, all I can say is we used to be friends before they sent him to private school. He came back a lot judgier. It made sense when they made him president. He was a lot like my father after they disciplined the fun out of him. After I started protesting the farms, he stopped returning my calls. Oh, well, he's hard to label, but when I was a teenager, he was basically drunk or high or both all the time. He actually used to sell me pot. His problem with women were different than guys, but he never really judged me. I guess he knew it would be pretty hypocritical to judge anyone for anything. Back then, he was destructively unreliable in every way, but nowadays, he's just kind of boring and old. I prefer that to how he used to be and to Guy and Carl, but it's still a cautionary tale. Hope they never that boring and old. Who the fuck is she talking about here? Is this Miracle? Could be Miracle. I get that going back over and everything. It's just one of the, especially because it's so fresh and new in my mind. Also, today kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna try to at least get the first little bit out of this. As soon as I get my first real reveal, I will then. I was tracked down by a reporter as being one of the most upscale memory care facilities in Pittsburgh. She was located. She had Alzheimer's. There was a minor backlash towards the reporter that tracked her down because they were caught standing on a ladder and holding their camera over the privacy one. That is fucking atrocious. Oh, okay, so I have to go back and look at the diaries. Okay. That's... nice. I do like this is how split up. Archived evidence. Nothing stands out there. You better not make me reread everything. Just give me intuition thing. No? Alright, fuck that. You tell me what's going on. Why do I have to search it again? I already have it. Alright. A single passage that focuses on potential affairs in a real family, you've added to the rest of your evidence. Okay. Let's go back to the new evidence now. Cruelty from Lauren Ritchie's diary, written in 1963. It focused on the relationship between her mother and father. While it offered only redundant information during your previous investigation, it mentions the subject of affairs that may have been useful this time around. I am no stranger to true love. Jacob and I married at the age that most deem unfit for marriage, but he was also enlisting at an age that most deemed unfit for war. We had no choice. I knew in my heart that our marriage was one for the ages. He and I would still be together today if not for Okinawa. That was nearly 20 years ago, but there's an emptiness in my soul. I do not understand my contemporaries. So many girls I went to school with have taken multiple lovers. So many girlfriends, husbands have been unfaithful. If I am able to remain true to the ghost of a man, with no chance of physical reciprocation, no potential for long-term frank conversation, how could it be so hard to love someone you can reach out and touch, someone you can joke with? I have not had to deal with such madness at home. My parents are a perfect match in the worst way. My mother's cruelty is a perfect fit for my father's general spite. In turn, Pop's status enables her to incessant need to gloat and feel superior. I have grown up with their cruelty and disdain for others my entire life. Even my family remains unspared. They make fun of my grandpop and his family, saying blood is thicker than syrup, but nothing's thicker than Elias. They mimic Grandma Gwyneth's lisp when they see her kindness as a weakness. Elias, please remember Sam. Oh my God, they're talking about Sam. Not even our family's maladies and religion wouldn't go unmocked. Remember, God only put one eye in Miracle. Oh shit. Alright, I'm gonna get the camera back up and running. I can say without a doubt in my mind that my parents have never had eyes for anyone outside their marriage. They're too self-centered to look astray. Oh shit. So Gwyneth knew about Sam. Oh, I can figure Chris Rafferty. Don't make me track down. No. When would you Chris Raff 75 at prodigy.us. I'm not gonna fucking. Hey. Chris Rafferty's Prodigy site seems to have been discovered by the masses. Gone are the art pieces cousins. So there's a list of questions that people keep answering. Most of the relevant are the following: Are you the son of Clark Rafferty? Yes, but I didn't grow up with him. I remember him from when I was a little kid, but I moved away with my mom when I was very young. We left Pennsylvania and moved back home to Virginia. We lived there with Pete, my stepdad. My dad and I spoke a few times. Ooh. Okay, a little bit of a crunchy. Encoding error. Okay, perfect. Everything else seems fine. A little bit dropped frames, but that's okay. My dad, I found out his phone number on a check he sent us in the mail when I was 15. He was happy to hear from me and now calls me once a month and came to visit me in college. He tells me about things I don't remember and people like Guy Hudson and Ernie Madsen. My dad and I get along, but obviously weren't very close. Did you ever meet the Roottrees? I used to know the Roottrees, but never the sisters. I was in the office sometimes when I was a kid, and I definitely met Guy Hudson before he died, but I don't remember. My memory's weird. It's hard to know what I actually remember when I only think I do because I have pictures. For example, I have a photo from when I was 5, and it's the office my dad and Guy was there. I made myself sick by eating chocolate. Some woman who I don't know cleaned my face. I don't know if my memories of that came from the picture or not. The photo has been added to evidence. How did you have proof of Ernie Madsen's heart condition? I knew Ernie had heart problems because my dad told me on one of our phone calls. I asked him about the poison because I saw it on the Rootree Curse website and emailed some old stuff, including the proof, but even with the proof, the website didn't take it down. You spelled fiance wrong. I'm not good at spelling and writing. I'm good at painting and other art. I'm going to school to learn how to edit movies. I want to make cartoons someday. Lulu is much better at spelling. Okay. There's Guy, and there's Chris, and there's his dad, Clark, with hair. And I'm guessing an affair partner. Alright, the Family Man book. I saw it again. I was going to retrieve shoulder. Copy. Public library. I just want my first lock-in. As soon as we get my first lock-in, I will be happy. Dictionary defines propaganda as information, especially as a bias or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. But if they were to replace the definition with a picture, it would be a picture of this book. I am frozen again. Come on, camera. The book tells you nothing about Elias, and from what you know of his true feelings towards some of his extended family, you're not sure if it tells you anything true about Elias either. The reissue of the book was so lazy that they reused the famous photograph of Elias from Business Watch, whose copyright expired. The best thing is it's going for that it's only 85 pages long. Lock in. There we go. Oh, we had Miracle correct as well. Okay. That means we do not have Joanna correct.
Has Clark reached out to you? Well, let me give you a short history lesson about the last few months of my life. 3 different people contacted me, claiming that somewhere in their history might be Roottrees. First, that young man, the rapper. I ignored that one. I felt terrible. So I began, because my doubts with Felix were so misfounded, I ended up putting too much. I went to the media prematurely. But the third person who contacted me also had a credible case. Before I could help, the company got to them somehow. The fact that the family silenced them doesn't seem to fill me with hope when it comes to Clark's intentions, but you're making progress based on the leads he gave you. It's really hard for me. I've sent you the case I've been working on, and some company records I managed to track down. The records are quite dense, but hopefully they're useful. Good luck.
Okay. So the big thing is... Oh, we need a birth name. We need Joanna's birth name. That's why. If I search Joanna Fellows. Yeah, okay. So that's the problem. Is that Fellows is her married last name. Okay. Before I start getting to a bunch of new information and forget it all by the next time I stream, which is probably going to be tomorrow, I'm going to call that there. I'm sorry it's a shorter stream. This is being taped on the 14th, and it's been a rough day. So, love you all. We're going to go to the goodbye screen. Thank you for watching on YouTube. If you're watching, please leave a comment. I don't get to see them very often. Have a good one. Goodbye, YouTube.